Most people spend their lives chasing a moving finish line, not because they are greedy, but because they are afraid to stop. Afraid that if they pause, they will fall behind, be forgotten, become irrelevant. I lived like that for years without noticing it had become my normal. My days were structured around after I achieve more, after I fix this, after I improve that, after I become better. Peace was always scheduled for later. Rest was something to be earned, never something allowed. And the strange thing is, from the outside, it looked responsible, disciplined, ambitious. Inside, it felt like running on a treadmill, that someone else kept speeding up. There is a quiet exhaustion that doesn't show on your face. It hides behind productivity, behind politeness, behind functioning well enough. But you feel it in the small moments, when you sit down, and your mind doesn't, when silence appears, and your thoughts panic. One afternoon, nothing dramatic happened. No crisis, no breakdown, no life event. Just an ordinary, forgettable afternoon. The kind most people rush through, without memory. I sat down with a cup of tea that I barely tasted. My phone was in my hand. My mind was already in tomorrow. And for some reason, I didn't open anything. No messages, no news, no distraction. Just sitting. At first it felt wrong, like I was skipping a responsibility I couldn't name. My brain started offering tasks like a nervous waiter. You should check something. You're forgetting something. This is unproductive. I almost listened, but instead, I stayed still a little longer, and something subtle happened. The urgency passed, not because I solved my life, but because urgency cannot survive without constant attention. In that small pocket of quiet, I noticed something uncomfortable. Nothing was missing, not in that moment. The chair held me. The air moved gently. The light touched the table. My breath kept arriving without permission. Life was already happening. Not improved, not completed, not optimized, just present. And for the first time, I asked a dangerous question. What if this is enough right now? My mind resisted immediately. Said, no, that's complacency. That's how people fail. That's how people disappear. But the feeling underneath the thought wasn't failure. It was relief. We are taught to distrust relief. If it comes before achievement, we are trained to delay contentment, like it's dessert after discipline. But peace is not a reward. It is a condition. Children understand this naturally. They can sit with a stick and a patch of dirt and experience fullness. Adults need upgrades, validation, proof, metrics, progress bars. Somewhere along the way, we confused growth with constant dissatisfaction. Growth is healthy. Permanent discontent is not. There is a difference between expanding your life and rejecting it. I realized I had been rejecting mine. Politely, efficiently, silently. Always improving it, instead of inhabiting it. We say things like, I'll enjoy life when, I'll relax when, I'll feel okay when. When is a horizon. It moves as you move. Contentment only exists in now, not in theory, in practice. The cup you are holding, the breath you are taking, the moment you are inside. Enough is not a number. It is a recognition. It is the moment you stop negotiating with reality. Nothing external changed that afternoon. My income didn't change. My goals didn't vanish. My responsibilities stayed. But the pressure softened, because I stopped treating my present life like a waiting room. Waiting rooms are endured, not lived. Many people live entire decades, emotionally sitting in a waiting room for their real life to begin. But this is it. Unfinished counts, imperfect counts, ordinary counts. Enough is not the end of ambition. It is the end of self-rejection. You can build more without despising what exists. You can improve without insulting your current self. A tree grows, but it does not hate its present height. It does not apologize for being smaller than it will be. It stands fully at every stage. Humans rarely allow themselves that dignity. We treat ourselves like drafts instead of beings. There is a calm kind of courage in saying, this moment is not lacking, even if it is not final. When I first accepted the idea of enough, I worried I would lose my drive. The opposite happened. My work became cleaner. My decisions became lighter. My energy stopped leaking into anxiety, because desperation is inefficient. Peace is surprisingly productive. But that's not why you should want it. You should want it because your nervous system was not designed for permanent chase. We are built for rhythm, not endless acceleration. Breath in, breath out, effort, release, movement, stillness. Enough is the release phase. Most people skip. There is also a spiritual dimension to enough, not necessarily religious, but existential. To say this is enough is to say, I accept the gift of existence without demanding customization. That is humility, not weakness. Gratitude is not pretending things are perfect. It is noticing they are present. Presence is underrated because it is quiet. But quiet things carry foundations. Noise carries attention. Silence carries truth. If you are always reaching forward, you cannot receive what is here. Receiving requires pause. Pause requires permission. Most people are never given that permission, so they must give it to themselves. Consider this gently. What if your life does not need expansion today? Only appreciation? What if your worth is not increasing? Only being recognized? What if peace is not built? Only uncovered? Enough does not mean stop growing. Enough means stop starving. While standing in a field, you can still plan, still build, still dream. But from steadiness, not deficiency. Deficiency screams. Steadiness listens. And listening is where clarity enters. That afternoon, nothing changed, and everything changed. I finished my tea slowly. It tasted different when I wasn't rushing through it to reach the next thing. Small pleasures are invisible to a hurried mind, and most of life is made of small pleasures. A warm cup, a shared laugh, a quiet room, a held hand, a deep breath. Enough is hidden there, not in milestones. Milestones are moments. Enough is a state. You do not arrive at enough. You notice it right now. Something is already working in your life. Something is already holding you up. Something is already sufficient for this moment. Sit long enough, and you will see it. Not with analysis, with attention. Attention is the doorway to enough. So today, pause on purpose. Not when you finish everything. Not when you deserve it. Not when you are approved. Pause because you are alive. Pause because this breath arrived. Pause because existence is occurring without your management. And in that pause, let the sentence land gently. This is enough. Not forever, not finally, but truthfully, this is enough.